But that was really fun to do, but also like a lot of work because you're having to create a completely new existence for everything, and so, you know, actually, and you'll even see in this clip, you'll see the titles for the show as well.
One other thing I want to tease before we show this clip, because he's in it, and anyone can jump in on this, can you all tell me a little bit about working with Josh Brolin as Killian here, and maybe what it was like watching him make that character uniquely his own?
I mean, Josh is like the greatest. He's like one of my new favorite people on the planet. I don't know if there's anybody better at playing a bad guy than Josh Brolin. Besides you, Lee Pace. Josh is, I think this is also a different gear, because Josh as a person is like very salty. He's a very masculine, cool guy who says he's like, so, you know, who's like got a southern quality to him. In this, he's very manicured. He's wearing like, you know, top-notch suits. He's got veneers, you know, perfect skin, the whole thing. So he represents a different class where Ben Richards kind of comes. It's really the collision of two men from two very different worlds who are finding themselves in the same office, which is pretty cool. So Josh is just one of the greats. He's just a joy to be around, and he just absolutely smokes it in this movie.
You want to see not only Josh in action in this clip, but so much more. This is an exceptional clip. Are you ready for it? All right, let's roll our second clip from The Running Man. Going to dig into some of the details again and also highlight more of the cast that we did see in that clip. But first I was told I could have a little fun with this, and I do ask this question every once in a while because I like thinking about it myself. If each of you had the opportunity to be on the reality game show of your choice, what show would you pick and could you actually win it?
I'd do Survivor. I would want to. I would really want to do that, and I do think I could win it. I'm telling you, I do.
I was on a kid Survivor when I was a kid called Endurance. Some random Endurance fans in here, I love it. I got kicked off on the first day, so you and I are in very different camps.
I'd be terrible at it, but it'd be fun just for the experience to be on the Great British Bake Off. My friend is one of the judges, so maybe I'd get preferential treatment. As Noel Fielding is a friend of mine.
I like the sound of all, but I feel like we need like a Running Man spin on that. Don't they do themed episodes every once in a while too?
We should all do the Great British Bake Off.
I would watch that in a heartbeat. So, going back to your incredible ensemble here, we've highlighted a bunch of people, but I wanted to open it up to the full cast right now. We all know how talented everybody is, so do you. You cast them in their movie. But for each of you, I was wondering if you could highlight someone this way. Who does something in The Running Man that would make you tell folks in this audience, like, you think you know what that actor is capable of, but you'll never believe what they achieve in our movie?
Well, you just saw Coleman in that clip, and he's incredible. I mean, I'll say this is that I'm excited for you guys to see Michael Cera in the movie. I won't say any more than that, but he's such an amazing blast of energy, and it's exciting to work with him again. So I'm excited for you all to see Michael Cera in it.
His casting surprised me, and when I'm surprised by casting, it delights me. I can't wait to see what he does in that role.
I obviously worked with him when we did Scott Pilgrim. He was Scott Pilgrim versus the World 2010. He was 20, he turned 21 on set. And so to work with him like kind of 15 years later, you know, he's a father of two, and like it was just so great to, I mean, obviously we'd been in touch and been friends all the time. He did the voice for the anime series, but to actually be on set with him again, and you know, Michael McCall, who, you know, like we wrote together on the movie, he you know, works on Scott Pilgrim as well. So it was a nice reunion of a lot of people. There's lots of people that I worked with on previous films, but for him to be in the film was great, and to see him and Glenn together make such a fun and unlikely double act. So I'm excited for you guys to see that.
Cera's man. It was also fun, you know, as a fan of Scott Pilgrim, to watch you guys go down memory lane together. You know, to be a part of that was really special. Katie O'Brien and I did. such a star. She and I did Twisters together. So it was so fun to kind of reunite with her on this one, and she's extraordinary in the movie. Everybody reacts differently to imminent death, and Katie definitely reacts the most fun of anyone. She's a blast in this movie. Also, Martin Hurley from SNL just really adds so much life to this character, and again, a very specific reaction that's just a blast. There's a guy named Daniel Ezra, who many of you may be familiar with, but he is really good, a real heartbeat of the movie, and it's his first movie. He's been in many TV shows. It's his first movie, and just extraordinary actor, extraordinary guy. But I will say, I think one of the highlights for me was Coleman Domingo when he was shooting all the Bobby E.T. stuff. He had a spiritual connection with that audience. He really is such a born performer and added so much flavor to that. But one of my favorite memories was he was on stage when he got his BAFTA nomination. And the entire crowd went nuts. And we made the announcement, and then he just kind of ate it up and kind of kept fueling him up. And it was just, there was like something really special that was happening on that stage. But Coleman is one of the rare people that can pull off a part like this. You know, he's born for the stage, and he just milks every single moment out of this movie.
One of my favorite things that happened on the set was Coleman, he came in and sort of had the crowd of extras eating out of his hand by the end of the day. They were sort of chanting his character name. So even when we weren't rolling, the audience would start going, Bobby E.T, Bobby E.T. And Josh Brolin, who's in some of the studio scenes, who's the creator of The Running Man, Dan Killian, at one point I did an experiment with the extras, and I said, hey, I just want to do a quick experiment. How do we all feel about Coleman Domingo? And they went, yeah, Bobby E.T, Bobby E.T. I was like, how do we feel about Josh Brolin? Boo! And Josh was like, he goes, I have never felt so emasculated in my life. All of the people in the studio were booing me. It was so funny.
It feels like Coleman's the kind of person who has that spiritual connection with like literally everybody on the planet. He's got that special spark that nobody else does. Lee, how about for you? A scene partner you want to highlight?
Amelia Jones. She was, I thought, exquisite in Coda, and I love, one of my favorite things about watching movies is seeing like a new actor, and like seeing something I've never seen before. And to get to meet her in real life on this set and see what she brought to this character was super fun, super cool. And I'm excited to see what she does in the movie, because I only have a couple small scenes here.
I'm psyched to see her in that role too. I do want to take a moment to give Glen some flowers here, because headliner, there's so much on your shoulders with this role. So Edgar, I'll start with you, and Lee, if you want to chime in, please do. Can you tell me something about the version of Ben Richards in your movie that was only possible because it is Glen Powell in that role?
Well, this man. I mean, what's I think amazing is that Glen is in every scene of the film. There's only one scene that he's not in, and that's a TV show that he's watching. And it was the thing about the adaptation that was really important to me, is I wanted it to feel very intense, that we're with this character the whole way. And that meant that Glen was in every day, pretty much in it, most shots. And that was just made it, I mean, a gift in a way, because you get to experience the movie through the character. And also, it was important to us because even though it is an action film, Ben Richards in this film, he's a regular guy. He's an out-of-work dad, and he's kind of, he's tough because he works some tough jobs like construction, and he's worked outside, and so he's got a thick hide, but he's often operating without a plan and with no sort of strategy, and it's a fun thing to do. A lot of action movies these days, you're watching people who are superhuman, or they are the best at what they do. They might be the best hitman in the world, or the best or their top superhero could kill anybody. And so there's something great about doing an action film around a character who's vulnerable and fallible, and who you think could die at any second. And so going on that journey with Glen, and sort of putting him literally and figuratively through his paces, was just a dream because he's such a great collaborator. So it was a really ambitious shoot, an exhausting shoot, and if I had anybody less hardworking and diligent than Glen, I just wouldn't have got through it. So I want to say thank you to this man in front of lots of people. And he's amazing in the movie. I'm allowed to say that. He's amazing.
Let's continue to make Glen blush, please.
I mean, to echo a lot of what Edgar said, I mean, talk about someone who gives it 1,000% and makes it look easy. He shows up every day with like a level of commitment that if you're showing up to that same set, you're going to bring the same commitment. A lot of our scenes, both of the characters are pretty stressed out, going through a moment, and the work is real, but the camera's cut, and you've got someone you can joke with on set, which makes those long days really enjoyable. So, thank you.
Love you, buddy. Thank you. Love you guys.
We've already seen some of it, but we're going to screen another clip, and it shows you that Glen really put in the work in so many different respects. Let's check out our third clip from The Running Man. After a clip like that, and one about the ambition of this production, Edgar, I'll start with you. Glen and Lee, if you want to chime in on this, please do, just to highlight the incredible behind the scenes that went into making that and everything else you do in the movie possible. You've done a lot of ambitious things, but this looks like it's on another level. Can you tease maybe some first-time filmmaking feats you achieved while making The Running Man?
I guess it's like a road movie. I mean, the thing that was kind of crazy about making it is it felt like sometimes like you were doing the show, because like to what I was saying about earlier, my production designer told me that because there's so many moving parts to it and there's so many locations because Ben Richards is on the run, there's something like 168 locations and sets in the movie. It's crazy. And so because we see so much, so I think that was probably the most ambitious thing for me, is to sort of be really expansive. And we shot in 3 different countries essentially. We shot in London, England, we shot in Glasgow in Scotland, and we shot in Sofia in Bulgaria. And I think that sequence probably covers all 3 countries at some point. I don't know, it was that thing where I kind of felt, obviously making movies is really exhausting and stressful, and I would joke that Glen got into the best shape of his life and I got into my worst.
Can you two jump in on that? Like, what is something you saw happening on this set that made, even with all your experience, made the two of you stop and go like, my God, how is this real? How are we doing this right now?
I mean, the shape Glen was in. How is this real? As you saw, pretty sick.
You know what the worst part about that towel scene was for me was Edgar asked me to do that towel scene in the summertime. We shot that in February in Bulgaria. It was -10 that day. Nobody looks good in a towel in -10. We become friends with a crew really fast. I think one of the things that was like the best for me on this movie was, Edgar Wright has been on a list. When I first moved out to LA in 2008, I put a list of directors, like 5 directors on a list. Edgar Wright is at the top of that list of people I wanted to work with. If I ever got the chance, if I ever got a chance to stick around this business and ascend to a place high enough that these are sort of my Mount Rushmore of great filmmakers, and Edgar Wright is at the top of that list. He's one of the greats. He's one of the greats. He's made more incredible movies in such different genres than anyone else. And so I think what was really incredible for me is to watch one of the greats work his ass off every single day to deliver stuff for you guys, to deliver the best movie possible, to thrill audiences around the world. It was really inspiring because for me, sometimes you get around the greats and they're kind of skating on their legacy or skating on the things they've made before, and there was not one day that Edgar wasn't just fighting and slaving over every single shot and agonizing over how to make it perfectly to really, really deliver something special with this movie. So I think that was the most inspiring thing for me.
And no one else is having more fun on that set. I'll tell you that too. Like, Edgar is having a ball.
Not every day.
Not every day?
No, he is. You create a very, very fun set, absolutely. Not the -10 Bulgaria day, but everything.
I ask this every once in a while, and now that makes me curious. Does Edgar have a monitor dance? Like something he does behind the monitor that signals to the two of you, you are really crushing a scene?
My whole goal on this was to make Edgar chuckle. Like that's all I wanted to do is do a take and see Edgar chuckle, honestly.
I'll take that. Good chuckle behind the monitor is exactly what you need. Given a lot of what you've all talked about, you know, like the challenges and the ambition, it makes me want to ask you all one of my favorite questions because like, I love film, but I really love the process of filmmaking, and I love the fact that while it can be so hard, there's such like beautiful moments of joy you can experience while practicing your craft. So for each of you, can you single out the moment of making The Running Man that brought you the most joy as an artist?
I think it's seeing something like come together. I mean, most scenes are done in such little increments. Like that scene you just saw, I mean, God knows how many days and weeks it was shot in pieces over. And then there were little scenes where like something is happening kind of as live. And that's very rare in a movie. And I think actually the TV studio stuff was a bit like that. Because there was a point where it felt slightly, in a great way, out of control. Like the audience were like really responding. So kind of, you know, and you know, seeing an audience because they're sort of baying for Ben Richards' blood, like encouraging the extras to sort of hurl abuse at Ben Richards. There was, we had all these extras, and then somebody from our accounts department kind of wanted to be in the crowd for the day, and he said to me at the wrap party, he said, I don't know why, but shouting swear words at a complete stranger for 6 hours straight was one of the most therapeutic experiences of my life. Because also there's that thing when you have like really good crowd work, you know, and amazing ADs, obviously working with them, and Coleman was great with them, but you know, Glen and Leah, both of those scenes, it did feel like it was kind of felt like it started to become the show, that these people like would actually kind of riot at some point. It was really sort of, it felt really electric in the room, and you don't often get that where you've created the environment to shoot something for real, you know?
Leave it to accounting to have that latent taker. Yeah.
I mean, I'd say, my last day of filming, we shot all the promos, all the fun Macone promos. So I got to like lay out on an American flag, show my gun, show my knife, hang out of a helicopter, deliver badass lines.
Blow up watermelon?
Blow up watermelons. I mean, this is living the dream.
I forgot that you did all your promos on the last day. Yeah.
How about for you, Glenn?
No, I mean, I will say, watching Lee enjoy every single moment of this movie. Like, there is no one that has more swagger under that mask. You really enjoyed hunting me more than him. It's unbelievable. So fun, so fun. I think this was there's several ambitious ones. Even just like that one that we just saw is like, obviously it's in a oneer. You know, there's a lot of you know, things, so things are exploding in the hallway. There's a lot of, I always love when every department sort of comes together for a moment, and there was a lot of these really ambitious moments where it's like special effects and camera and props and costume, and everybody had to kind of come together simultaneously to pull something off in a really great way. But I think maybe where I really knew that we had something special was when we were on the set of The Running Man, and you really saw like all the storylines, because all the storylines kind of coalesce into one place. You know, my wife and my daughter and Coleman and Josh and the audience and the other contestants, and you really got a sense of like how far we were going to pull back that slingshot to throw Ben Richards out into the world. And you see, like with Coleman, with the fire and the cheerleaders, you were like, okay, this movie rocks, you know.
Can't wait to see even more of it. We do have one more thing to show you right now. Edgar, I feel like I should give you the honors. Do you want to introduce the last thing that we're showing to